Guys, welcome back to the fourth episode of the Single Dad's Cookbook. Today we're making another family favourite, macaroni and cheese, or mac and cheese. If you like these videos, please subscribe, put a little thumbs up and put a comment in. So we've got the pasta boiling in the salted water. We're just going to try and get that to al dente so that it finishes off cooking in the oven. We've got the cheese. We've got some bacon that we're going to fry up and make it nice and crispy. Some white pepper. We've got some milk in the fridge. Some double cream. Some butter. Going to make a nice thick cheese sauce. And we've got some crisps. We're going to crunch up and make a nice coating on the top of the macaroni cheese to give that crunch. So let's get started. So into the frying pan we've put a little bit of oil just to heat through until we get our bacon ready. So we're going to add the bacon into the pan. Just going to strip it out. Pop it in there until it goes all crispy. Let the fat render down on it. You can use any type of bacon that you prefer, smoked, unsmoked. Completely up to you. But what we're going to do, I'm going to put it in, separate it a little bit to make it easier when it comes to it. I'm going to just pop that in there. All the bacon in the pan. Give it a nice cook through. Separate it all out. While that's doing that, let's get on to the sauce. So we'll turn that right so we can see. And we're going to put on this nice ring here. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to incorporate the milk and the cream. Again, I'm not a professional chef. People say you've got to measure it out. Depends on how you want it. We can always add in. Remember, you can always add, but you can't take away. Just for that extra richness, I'm going to pour in some double cream. And what we need is some flour. Just to start this off with. Just to thicken it up. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it. Put a little bit in. You can always add more if we need to thicken it later, but the cheese should do that. So let's stir this, and what we're going to do is we're just going to let that bring in. Don't worry about any lumps or anything like that at this moment in time. It's all going to cook out. So we don't want it to boil, because if it boils it'll split, and that's not what we want. It's not the sauce we want. We want to just make sure we're bringing that up. As you can see over here, bacon's coming along nicely as well. It's all going to be incorporated. Stirring that flour, and we're going to give that a little second to get up. Now, as that's coming along nicely, what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of butter in it again, just for richness. Pop that in there, and that'll melt down into the sauce. Now you can see there the bacon is getting to a nice crispiness, so we just give it another little turn. And what we're going to do is we're going to now take that off the heat, and we're going to drain it a little bit on some kitchen towel. take off any excess grease. So, as you can see, we've got the nice crispy bacon. Just, yeah, that's drying off nicely. I've moved the sauce mixture up onto the back ring, just so that it can penetrate the pan a little bit better. We can get this mix in and get it moving. So again, remember, we don't want it to bring it to the boil. I'm just going to reduce that just ever so slightly. And then what we're going to do is we're slowly going to incorporate the cheese into the sauce. So I'm just going to bring the cheese over now. Now we're going to keep some of this cheese for the top. So again, it makes it all nice and oozy and delicious. First handful in, sprinkle it out a bit to make, again, making life easier for yourself so it's not big clumps. You can buy shop bought grated cheese, but I always prefer to grate my own. Add that in just now. Let's give that a stir. And we're going to slowly incorporate the cheese until we get a nice, thick, unctuous cheese sauce. Just going to add the last of the cheese into the sauce, and then we're going to add in some white pepper. If you've not got white pepper, you can add in just normal pepper, just for the contrast. I'm going to add in a nice pinch of white pepper, and we just keep stirring this. As you can see, the sauce is turning nice and thick, and we're just going to melt in the rest of this cheese till it becomes all nice and thick and gloopy. Guys, I've just changed over to the whisk just to get it all incorporated. It's looking nice and thick, just to make sure that it's all incorporated nicely in there, just to speed it along a little bit. Agitate the sauce. You can see there it's clinging nicely and it's nice and smooth. You can obviously add more cheese, you can add less cheese, bit of garlic, bit of onions, whatever you want in, whatever you prefer. Okay, so we've got the pasta that's been partially cooked and drained off. We're just going to add that into the oven proof dish. Let's get this out without spilling it everywhere. There we go. We're going to incorporate that, mix it up so it's not becomes a bit loose. We are going to add in the bacon bits that we fried off earlier. Again, we're just going to get them mixed in. You can see the sauce now thickening up beautifully. What we're going to do is we are going to just pour that right through the mac and cheese. You can see it's sticking beautifully to the bottom of there. That unctuous cheese we'll get all that in. Cheesy goodness. And what we're going to do is we will just incorporate this. So that everything is covered. So you can see that. Now, what we're going to do, we're just going to get some of the extra cheese, we're going to grate it over the top. So just a spreading of more cheese over the top. I've used cheddar throughout the whole thing. It is a family favourite. Just perfect little remnants. And what we're going to do, just over the top again, is a nice sprinkling of white pepper. Now the oven's been preheated. I've got it at 200. We're going to just pop that in, and we're going to give that 10-15 minutes, just until it starts to bubble, then we'll come back. So guys, as you can see, the cheese has started to melt on the top. The sauce is thickening up beautifully. We've got a bit extra. Now we go back to that unusual ingredient, the crisps or chips, depending on where you're watching this. What we're going to do is we're just going to break them up. And we're going to just crunch them over. Just to give it a mix a little bit. And we're going to pop it back in the oven for a final few minutes. Normally I'd go with a bacon crisp, just so that you've got the same consistency of flavour. And that's just to give it a little bit of extra bite. And we're going to pop that back in the oven for the last few minutes. And there you have it, guys. Single Dad's macaroni cheese, from my family to yours. I hope you enjoy it. It's one of our favourites. Hope it's one of yours. Like I said, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. If you're returning, pleased to see you, and I wish you all the best. Till next time.